What's up, everybody? It's Mark Jones, president of I Think Mortgage, and I am bringing you guys a new little flavor, and we're going to make this daily. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself and my forever guest, Matthew Stansberry. Matt, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
I hope that everybody had a great weekend. It's Monday. I just got back from Hawaii with a manager's trip. I'm all sunburned, but ready to actually kick some tail in this mortgage business. What I gathered from this past meeting is there's a lot of shaking and moving, a lot of changes that are coming about within our industry due to the increased volatility of what's going on with interest rates, the CPI, among other things. But there's still a lot of great things to talk about and to get you guys as far as information. So we're going to talk daily about different hot topics. We're going to bring you mortgage interest rates. We might even bring you reels and TikToks that we can look at, make fun of, give commentation on. Is commentation even a word?
Commentation.
Comments, maybe. But anywho, let's see here. I don't know what we should open up with, but Matt, while I was gone, how is everything looking? What's going on?
I would say the market, let's see, over the past week, I'd say rates have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
We know that the Fed came out, last week?
Yeah.
Took a little bit of a hit. But yeah, it's tough. Market is tough right now. I mean, if you're in this business and you're not teaming up or doing something to think outside of the bank or the box,
Hey.
then you might not be here long.
Yeah, I think that is a pretty good explanation of what's happening. I also want to make sure that through this, and JC brought us a good article to go over today that has a lot to do with equity and where people are migrating to and things of that nature. But it seems as though people are fearful of affordability. They're fearful of being able to find what they're actually qualified for. We're still talking about negotiations and sellers being a little bit more accommodating when it comes to negotiations. But what we're not seeing that everybody said would possibly happen is home prices going down. That's just not happening. So we've got an article that we want to go over. But before we do that, let's just look at some rates. Let's look at rates, explain why they are the way that they are, all that jazz. So if you can see on the screen with us, and we are using a Google tool, all you have to do is type in today's mortgage rates. And what it actually is a conglomerate of different mortgage companies throughout the United States based on actual location and credit score and things of that nature to give you a good estimate of where people are sitting as far as what the average interest rate is. So as you can see on the screen here, we've got a 30-year fixed mortgage at a 6.997, FHA at 6.6, your VA typically follows suit with FHA because they are both government loans along with the USDA. Now, one thing that I wanted to do, JC, if you could change that credit score, because in Texas, our average credit score is 680. Let's move that to 680. See what happens to rates. Boom. You want to talk about that real quick, Matt?
I would say for San Antonio, let's lower that a little bit more. I'm just kidding.
It's true. It's true. I mean, let's drop it a little bit more. Let's go to
the average in San Antonio is like what? It went up to 650.
660. 660. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So, I mean, you are seeing a conventional loan at 8.2% or so. That's not to scare you. That just is what it is. Inflation continues to rise. Matt or myself are not economists, so we can't tell you what the actual market's going to do, but we do know the basic concept of supply and demand. And right now, it's just not making the most sense as far as what's going on because you've got a limited supply of homes. The demand is still great as far as people wanting those homes, but the idea of actually capturing that is further and further slipping away from people's grasps. And it has a lot to do with mortgage rates. Mortgage rates determine what the market does, unfortunately. And for folks that are sitting on the fence, I would probably say get with your lender to determine if there are other options available for you that aren't as rate driven. We've got down payment assistance type products, 100% financing like USDA. And a couple of other tips would be negotiate. Use the tools that you have available, like the contract and the spots in the contract, to be able to get yourself a little bit further along as far as where you end up when you purchase that home. So you have anything to add on that?
No, I think you kind of hit it on the nail on the head with negotiate your contract. I mean, people have houses sitting on the market and they're looking to in turn go buy a house themselves. So they're going to be in the same instance where they're fighting for everything they can to potentially lower that monthly payment.
Yeah. And what I think, if you can, go over what you're seeing, because I know you received a couple of contracts over the week. As far as when someone gets to a certain negotiation point, but they're not willing to pay closing costs, but you still haven't finalized the contract, raising that actual price in order to have some closing cost rolled into the actual purchase price.
Yeah, kind of like a wash. So your sellers are already looking at the bottom line. So if you know a house is going to appraise a little bit higher, you can push up, let's just say, anywhere 5, 10, depending on the amount. Let's just say $5,000. You increase that sales contract price by $5,000. Then you roll that back in seller concessions for another $5,000, and it's a wash. Yep. And that gets added back in as closing costs.
And I think a lot of folks out there don't get the concept of this. And in those cases, I advise you to get with a realtor that does know what they're doing. We are not in a spot in our industry where you can put your full faith into a part-time agent. I don't care how good that agent was at some point in time, but you've got to have somebody that is in tune with actually what's going on in our market. The market's changing daily, but you've got some folks that are giving out some information that is just not in line with what's truly going on in our market. So that's enough about rates. Let's move on to this article that we have here. And it was a pretty good article, or a quick research study, so to speak, that JC had found. Matt, can you see that far away?
Yeah, kind of.
Let's
it says San Antonio housing market. The San Antonio housing market is somewhat competitive. Homes in San Antonio receive 2 offers on average and sell in around 40 days. The average sales price of the home in San Antonio was $255,000 last month. Down 1.9% since last year. The average sale price per square foot in San Antonio is $162 per square foot, up 5.9% since last year.
So it's almost a contradiction. It's saying that the average sales price has gone down, but at the same time,
we were super inflated last year, guys.
It's exactly right.
What?
So it kind of goes back to the concept that we were talking about in the beginning, to where are you making the wrong decision by purchasing? Well, not really if your equity is continuing to go increase year over year. So yeah, let's keep going on this. San Antonio housing market trends. It says, what is the housing market like in San Antonio today? In December 2022, San Antonio home prices were up 2.5% compared to last year, selling for a median price of $277,000 on average. Homes in San Antonio sell after 44 days on the market, and that's compared to 25 days last year, where there were 426 homes sold in December this year, down from 1,628 last year. So it's obvious that there are less sales going on. Yeah. I mean, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. But the one thing that I have to rely on is logic, and logic tells me that we're not going to see an influx of properties for sale hitting the market. I don't know if the reason is obvious enough, but if it's not, I'll just tell you. If you are sitting in your home right now, let's say you purchased it, 10 years ago. Within the past 3 years, I can almost guarantee you did what it took to refinance that property to get it to a sub 3% interest rate. So now let's put ourselves in those shoes. Would you go and try and sell that home for the 3% rate, sub 3% rate, to go and get another home for a higher interest rate, move laterally, or even downsize with the same mortgage payment? It just doesn't make sense.
No,
it just doesn't make sense. So I don't see an influx of properties getting ready to hit the market. We are also at a cyclical time of the year where sales are always low in the beginning of the year. You've got kids that are jumping back in school. You've got tons of other things that are happening, but it doesn't start really ramping up until about March.
Yeah, about spring break. People know that they're going to be leaving, traveling. They're changing jobs. You have your VA. They're getting stationed elsewhere. But nobody really moves until like about those.
Right.
About springtime frame.
Now, mind you, we are still seeing plenty of folks that have to move. Typically, if you were a homeowner before, you're going to be a homeowner again. Why? Because even if you sell in this market, you're probably going to collect a pretty good sized chunk of equity that you can take to move to the next property. And that will or should continue, at least as long as you're in Texas. But anywho, let's move on. Let's keep going with this article. Okay, we already went over that part there. A medium sales price, number of homes sold, 44 days on the market. Typically, I would say that's a healthy market.
Yeah, that was our norm before like COVID, right?
Right.
It was anywhere from 45, 50 days.
Right. I mean, I am still seeing multiple offers in some situations. If the home is priced right, you're going to get some multiple offers. But let's go to, scroll down a tad. There we go. This is what I want to talk about. Matt, you want to take this one?
It says San Antonio migration and relocation trends. In October 2022 to December 2022, San Antonio homebuyers searched to move out of San Antonio, while 74% look to stay within the metropolitan area. Where are people moving to San Antonio from? Across the nation, 0.9% of homebuyers search to move to San Antonio from outside the metros. Los Angeles homebuyers search to move to San Antonio more than any other, followed by Austin and Chicago.
Wow. So we've got a lot of folks from California moving to San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
We won't get political on this update, but I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with taxes. It's got a lot to do with politics. It's got a lot to do with a lot, but we won't get into that.
Do you think
Unless you want to.
they're driving? It made me think of like, okay, Los Angeles, people are searching from Los Angeles to move here, right? But they also search Austin, and they drove prices in Austin way through the roof.
You're correct.
So it's driving those people out of Austin to San Antonio, or even people that moved from Los Angeles to Austin now moved to San Antonio because of the property taxes being higher on the same house.
You are on the money with your absolutely. JC, pull that bad boy back up because I did have a chance to look at this beforehand. What does that say, number 2?
Austin, right?
So let's put it in perspective, right? Let's say in the last couple of years, we had people that we had an election, we had some things shift around that people agreed with, disagreed with, what have you. You had like the Elon Musks of the world moved well before that stuff.
Yep.
And let's say a lot of folks that jumped on that Los Angeles to Austin wagon and now can't buy because they're priced out. So they're moving from Austin to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a good thing. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. It's a good thing in my opinion because you've got a lot of folks that will keep our market stable and growing when you have and see things like that. If you look at that map there, you've got folks from Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston. That's surprising that folks from Houston are coming to San Antonio. But I'm seeing a lot of liberal states
Washington,
come to us.
California, New York, Portland, Oregon.
I mean, there's no secret about it. Oregon, New York, California, DC, Washington, California, Illinois, California. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
It's just like, please don't turn my state blue.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to pay state tax.
Yeah, I doubt that will ever change. And a lot of folks do compare the taxes around the country to Texas and our property taxes. Yes, we do pay quite a bit in property taxes, anywhere from 1.9 all the way up to 2.7% in taxes of the actual value, whereas other places are less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
But they do have state taxes.
And the cost of their houses are more.
There you go. That as well. I mean, you look at it, California, Washington, all these other places, well, y'all stuff is inflated. You've got a market that is constantly on a roller coaster historically. I mean, if we pulled up a snapshot of what home prices did in any of those states that are moving here, or cities that are moving here,
sometimes they lose
they're
money.
They're volatile like crazy. Yeah. So we're here in Texas. We're pretty consistent. We believe in our values, and we don't mind more because there's plenty of room in Texas in general. But don't come here and start complaining about our taxes. I guarantee you that's not why you moved here. It's just onlookers that are being naysayers. What was that thing that I posted this morning about? Oh goodness, what did it say? Don't walk with somebody that's still something.
Like being complacent.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, folks that are complacent, they haven't changed. They're going over and doing the same thing and complaining outwardly instead of working to progress themselves, getting through those challenges, whatever they may be, because we can. Life is about choices that we make, but it goes deeper than that. Regardless, let's finish up this article real quick.
I think that was the end of it.
Is it?
I think so.
Is there any more, JC? Metropolitan area and a bunch of homes for sale. Okay, well, that's it. So going back to us, our goal, as crazy as it sounds, is to bring you guys at least a 15-minute to 30-minute discussion, bulletin, update, market chatter, whatever you want to call it, but you're going to get one. Rain or shine, whether it be Matt, myself, or both of us, because M&Ms are supposed to melt. Never mind. I won't even go down that road.
I'm like, whoa.
But Matt and I have been running a pretty successful team for quite some time now and have made a couple of changes to our team and the way we're structured. So we're going to be doing a lot of loans, a lot of meeting with customers like yourself to provide you with options. And the reason why is because this market requires an expert. After many years of being in the mortgage industry, myself and Matt, both investors in properties, we've been from property flipping to losing our butts on properties to refinancing to accumulating them and renting them. But Matt and I can truly say that we have built most of our wealth based on property.
On real estate.
Real estate has to do with location. And I think somebody had mentioned it. The best time to buy was in 1972. The next best time to buy is today. Yeah, because it's constantly doing what it does. So that is our promise to you guys, that we provide you with at least a short update of what's going on in our market, both real estate, mortgage, and maybe even some fun shit as well.
Yeah, the height.
We want to get more folks engaged in our mission and our overall goal. And just because you are not ready to become a homeowner right now, we're here to show you how to make that possible. If you are looking to get some type of options, maybe even you've got credit issues, you've got gaps in your employment, you've been turned down by another lender, visit us at ithinkmortgage.com. Our team is a bunch of experts that want to give you exactly what you deserve. So I don't have anything else to say. Matt, you got anything to close us out with?
It's not if, but when you become a homeowner.
Boom. I like that. And our goal is to show you how.
I think mortgage.
I love it. Well, guys, we will catch you back here tomorrow. Our goal is also to try and get to a point in time where we're doing this consistently at a certain time of the day. But right now, just bear with us. I guess you got to keep your head on a swivel for when we do go live, but we are going live daily. That's what you're going to get. That's our promise to you.
And stay tuned and keep crushing it.
Crush it.